Over the last week, Bitcoin price has done exactly what historical Bitcoin data suggested that it would. In this video, I want to break down exactly what's happening on the short-term charts, the short-term target of $65,000, an all-time high for Bitcoin, and the resistance that is in the way. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, turn the notification bells on for the very best Bitcoin technical analysis. I'm telling you, it it has been so on point, and I'm not like trying to pat myself on the back. All that I do is I follow the technicals. I share the data with you. This isn't me like doing these crazy predictions. It's simply historical data, patterns, moving averages, doing those things. And it has played out ridiculously if you've been following along. And I want to break it down. And there's something truly, really cool happening on the charts that I haven't done much talking about. And I want to talk about that in this video. So this is a clip from March 28th, a few days ago. I'm not going to show the clip, but this is us taking historical data, charting it alongside the descending triangle you see on the screen. So you see the speculative scenario in purple, and the breakdown of what has occurred since then is just truly on point. So I want to just visit that real quick. And if we chart that once again, what we were doing was taking that last move from the swing low in February to all-time high, and we were charting it within our current move. What we did was we slowed down the velocity of Bitcoin, and you can see we charted this. And look how it's moving even still so well. Now, here's the thing, and this is what we want to see happen. We want to see Bitcoin completely break away from this entire pattern. We don't want to see Bitcoin come back down here. It could potentially come back down here. We are at a very key resistance area that I want to talk about. But the other thing that is integrated onto this chart, and I've only mentioned it once, and this is when it was speculative, is this. Now, this is a clip from March 27th. Check this out. Head and shoulders playing out if Bitcoin comes down and tests that Fibonacci again before the breakout occurs, closer to the apex area. So inverse head and shoulders speculatively on this chart. And how did that play out? So let's go back to our chart here. Let's actually get rid of this speculative scenario to clear this up a little bit. And you can see Bitcoin did come back down and tested this 618 of this Fibonacci. That's the swing. That's the swing high to swing low up to Fibonacci. We were talking about if Bitcoin was going to come back down and test the 618, which it did. We got the bounce and boom. So basically that speculative inverse head and shoulders right here is there. The right shoulder is really ugly, but it doesn't matter. It was Bitcoin bears stepping in and failing very quickly before the bulls step back in. Now, what that looks like is simple inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, right shoulder, or head, right shoulder, break out of the neckline. Now, I completely forgot that I even speculatively talked about that setup. I had a message from James on Twitter. Shout out to you, James, reminding me that this setup is here because he saw it and he said, "Hey, Dan, do you see this?" So this is the setup. Now, the target of that inverse head and shoulders breakout is around $65,000, probably just below $65,000. Now, interesting about that is if we have a trend line from our recent all-time highs, all-time high 1, end of February, right? This is right around 58,000. Our second all-time high here, right around 62,000. $65,000 target for Bitcoin right now, right around that upper trend line of these previous all-time highs. So it will be really interesting if Bitcoin makes the power move to see how Bitcoin interacts with that area. We see what happened last time off of those last all-time highs. Bitcoin kind of made a really solid, strong move to the downside. Now, on this chart, what I mentioned was resistance, and this is the immediate resistance. Now, we still have 4.5 hours of the current 6-hour candle that you see happening on the screen right now, but the resistance area for Bitcoin is right here. Swing high, all-time high, to our swing low of consolidation, and we have our resistance channel that Bitcoin really just breaking out of here on the 6-hour, and this is what we want to see. Will this 6-hour candle close above this 786 line right around $59,300? We are right there. We need some separation from that area. We want to see a daily close above that area. And we want that kind of explosive separation that we often see. Now, with all of this that you see on the chart, and let me try and clean it up a little bit. With all of this that you see on the chart, what's really cool about this, I want to chart the swing high of that previous all-time high back here to swing low, and we have a Fibonacci there. But you notice the setup before Bitcoin gets an explosive move to the upside was also kind of an inverse head and shoulders of sorts down here. And I believe we were tracking that on this channel. So interesting setup here for Bitcoin as it gets a very similar setup. Obviously, the length of time is different. The look and feel is different, but the story is true. The bears failed here. And the question is, are they failing here? And is Bitcoin getting ready to hit that $65,000 target to the upside? Just really cool data to see play out on the screen. And at the end of the day, everybody, we've been tracking this. And this is the true midterm story being told here on the 6-hour chart. This very clean picture. And we've been tracking it since back here. Check this clip out from March 24th. As long as Bitcoin makes a pullback before 47,000, Bitcoin can very well see a pullback, broken, busted, descending triangle, very bullish for Bitcoin. So this goes back, everybody, this speculation, to when Bitcoin was all the way back here. And we were discussing the potential for a break to the downside, which we got, and a pullback into the pattern itself. That is a busted descending triangle, extremely bullish. And so the confirmation back here of that break back into the triangle was just the first bullish confirmation for Bitcoin. You know, this is the bears failing in the inverse head and shoulders. This is the head of the inverse head and shoulders, but it's also just that busted descending triangle for Bitcoin. Now, I want to just talk about this. We always get throwbacks also from the upper trend line, meaning we get a break through the upper trend line, throw back down. So going back to our chart over here, what I do want to anticipate, and look, I mean, right now as I do this video, we're below $59,000. And this is literally what I was just going to say. What I do want to anticipate is Fibonacci resistance all up in here. We just talked about we want to get a close and separation here from this line. That's the 786. Bitcoin is in the Fibonacci resistance right now. And so what would rejection potentially look like? Well, we have a couple areas. Here's our inverse head and shoulders neckline coming down here. And I want to chart a Fibonacci here. This is a swing low to swing high. And I want to just chart. This is that ultimate, you better have patience. Wow, we were so close to a breakout type of scenario. And it's actually charted kind of on this screen as well, which is this entire pullback right here on that speculative screen. So what could that potentially look like? And I'm only doing this to prepare for extreme downside, which is we get the resistance here at this channel and Bitcoin coming back down, testing a higher low from this swing low. And you can see Bitcoin getting thrown back towards the lower trend line of the descending triangle for a final bounce to the upside. So that's kind of a downside scenario. But that first area of support truly is the neckline down here. We know when we get breakouts out of any pattern, including inverse head and shoulders, throwbacks to those trend lines, and in this case, the neckline, right around $55,000 or so, just always very much in play. So I would say $55,000 to this upper trend line, right around $57,000, a big support area for Bitcoin if we're getting rejected off of this Fibonacci retracement. And just to, remind you that Fibonacci retracement resistance is the all-time high to swing low, and Bitcoin really just in it right now. So, and there's so much happening on the screen. So there's the resistance that Bitcoin is in right now. This is what we need to track. We need to see if Bitcoin can break this $59,300 to $400 area and get separation. Will it happen? This is what I'm tracking tonight. But the signs are very clear on the screen. What is happening right now? And that is Bitcoin interacting and trading around this descending triangle So much to track in the short term. So we'll continue tracking it. I appreciate you cruising by. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.